Hey, grade 9, we finished chapter 2 today of The Giver. So chapter 1 we've reviewed, chapter 2 we've picked up the summary notes for that. We're going to finish up on Tuesday what the community is like, the community in a nutshell. I have posted everything for The Giver on Google Classroom, so it's all there for you. So there should be no reason as to why you don't have information, because it's already there. I gave that to you. Also, the research paper information is there as well. So please be sure you're checking that out and getting started on your paper no later than, I would say, by the end of this week. You should get started on your paper so that it's completed by September 30th at 11:59, and you can submit your paper through Google Classroom or through email. Okay. We talked today about the process of doing the writing of the paper. So I suggested that maybe you focus more on the body first, get the meat all done and prepared, and you can do your revisions accordingly, and then spend more time on the introduction, because that's your selling point. So you want to get your audience's attention with the introduction. And if you start off with the introduction, you don't have a clue what you're writing about yet, because you haven't got that to that point, or you haven't developed that stage yet. So it'd be better to develop the stage first, then respond accordingly, and then do your conclusion and edit, and then submit your final submission. So that's a suggestion, but there are some guides on Google on the Centennial Live Guide that you can check out for some samples. And of course, MLA 8 formatting and referencing is there as well. Okay, and that's also in Google Classroom. I posted that 2 or 3 weeks ago. So please be watching those videos on Google Classroom and on the YouTube channel, Heskin ELA, and just stay up to date on those. And if you're not watching those, like, I'm putting in the extra time here for you, so to refresh your memory, keep you on track. So it would be greatly appreciated if you do watch those videos, check out those handouts, because they're all there. And so it's there to help you succeed in this course. Okay, I'm going to quickly go over the chapter 1 and 2 here. So just in case you missed it. So we talked about the giver here. We spent some time on the community, and so there's that map, and I promised you I would give that to you, so it's right there, and you can take a look. It gives you an idea of what the community is all about, where everything's located. There's chapter 1, and I'm not going to read each point. I'm just going to let you press pause at this point, and you can get that information if you missed it. And especially if you're learning how to paraphrase, shrink things down a bit, I would recommend that you read it through first and then paraphrase it. So for example, number 1 would be by itself, number 2 would be by itself, but 3 and 4 and 5 could be put together into one point as well. So instead of having 5, you've shrunk it down to 3. Okay, so this is where you press pause if you want to spend more time on this screen. The next screen, we have the frustration of that Lily has in regards to other communities not following the same rules. So we talked about that contradiction that takes place there. And we talked about release. There's 2 different positive forms of release, even though in our world, this would be more considered negative, just in the way, they treat the elderly, and of course the release of those who do not fit into the mold created by this community. And then we have sharing time at the end of chapter 1. So this is where you press pause if you want to catch these points. In chapter 2, we have the conversation, the time of sharing with Jonas to work things out as to why he's apprehensive about the December ceremony. And so we talked about in class, do you have those sharing moments in your family where you talk about how the day went, to sort those those issues out so that you're not going to bed angry or upset or anything like that, so you don't lose sleep, so that you can start your day with a clean slate and knowing full well that you did the best you could in the situations you were in, and the next time you are confronted with it, you just do it again the best you can, maybe even better than you did the last time, and then talk it out again with your support group. Okay, so press pause if you want to get this information. And the last slide, we had a little more emphasis on the community itself, how it works, and how the decision-making processes work within the community. It takes a little while for things to get done. If it's put forth towards the elders, because and they take so long in making a decision, and sometimes it takes so long that people forget they even asked or inquired about a situation or whatever. So do we see that in our political system today? Probably. So try to find some correlations to what's going on in our world today compared to what's going on in this world here in the Giver. Okay, so you can press pause there and get that information. All right, and we also switched to the Giver Guide. There were 2 questions, and so we talked about one question pertained to the release, and the other question dealt with the comfort objects for Jonas and Lily. Okay, so like I said, on Tuesday we'll get into the community and then into chapter 3. All right, and we started Don't Label Me as well. So is stereotyping possible, or is getting rid of stereotypes possible in our world today? That's the big question there. And we talked about our points of view. We have 8 assignments there. So keep that in mind as we progress with that in our classes as we get through this week here. Okay, so other than that, take care and be safe.